I used to waste 10 meters of garden beds for 4 months just to get 20 kilograms of potatoes in return. But the Amish only need a 0.2 square meter mesh tower to harvest 40 kilograms of tubers. The area is reduced by 50 times, and the yield is doubled. Sounds absurd, right? But this is layered biology, not magic. Today, I will break down the mechanical code of this tower so you can verify it yourself. The mistake of the majority is thinking that potatoes grow from the root system just like sweet potatoes or cassava. But what is the truth? Potatoes never grow from roots. The root system only does exactly one job: absorbing water and nutrients. What gives birth to potatoes are stolons, or in plain language, underground stems. Its biological rule is extremely primitive. Whichever part of the main stem you push into the darkness and moisture underground, it will automatically activate the tuber replication mode. Traditional bed planting. You only bury a few inches of the base, so the plant has exactly one layer of tubers. Tower planting. We extend the buried main stem axis up to nearly 3 feet. Can you imagine it? We are forcing the plant to produce tubers in 3 to 4 layers from the bottom to the top. But do not rush to grab your shovel and head out to the garden. If you go to the market and buy just any bag of potatoes to cut up for seed, do you know what the result will be? 100% failure. Commercial potatoes have been sprayed with sprout-inhibiting chemicals for preservation. Planting them will only lead to rotting. Furthermore, is the potato variety you chose an indeterminate, multi-layered variety like Russet Burbank, German Butterball, Elba, or KBEC? Make sure to choose the exact indeterminate variety, because if you mistakenly choose a determinate, single-layered variety, they only produce exactly one layer of tubers at the base, and even if you build a tower as high as the sky, it will be in vain. Pre-processing techniques. When you have the right seed potatoes, you will bury them right into the ground, won't you? Don't. Cut the seed tubers into small pieces about the size of a large chicken egg, ensuring each piece has at least 2 healthy eye buds. Do you see the cut surface getting wet and sappy? Burying them right into the moist soil full of bacteria at this moment is suicide for your seed tubers. Apply the natural bandage technique of the Amish. Spread the seed pieces out on a tray. Leave them in a dry, cool, and shaded place with good air circulation for 48 to 72 hours. When the cut surface is completely dry, calloused, and turns dark brown, the seed piece reaches an immortal state to fight off fungi and bacteria. A standard tower will need about 4.5 pounds of seed tubers like this. Now, prepare a roll of welded wire mesh, the type with a mesh size of 2 by 4 inches, to both maintain the tower's shape and allow ventilation. Roll it into a vertical cylinder with the golden specifications. Diameter, exactly 2 feet. Height, locked tightly at the number of 3 feet. Why 3 feet and not higher? Because if it is higher than 3.3 feet, when filled to the top with moist soil, the center of gravity is pushed high, making the tower easily tip over in strong winds. On the other hand, if it is lower than 2 feet, the vertical space is not enough for the potatoes to layer, and you will throw away your own yield advantage. The suffocation trap and the tuber boiling effect. Did you used to watch those videos on the internet telling you to take a large plastic drum or stack old tires to grow potatoes? Let me state firmly, never follow them if you don't want to harvest a pile of rotten mud. Do you know what happens inside that closed structure? A 3-foot-high block of soil, under the pressure of watering, will be packed tightly like concrete. Oxygen is completely cut off. The root system and underground stems in the core of the tower fall into a suffocation crisis. The result is that the plant on top still looks green and healthy, but the tubers beneath the core of the tower are suffocated, hollow-hearted, or rotting black from the inside. What is our solution? Exclusive oxygen-breathing axes. Before pouring soil, place a PVC pipe, 2.5 to 4 inches in diameter, drilled with holes 2 inches apart right in the dead center of the tower. This pipe acts like a well that guides oxygen straight into the deepest center, helping the potatoes in the core grow as large and even as the ones on the outer edge. Straw jacket against tuber boiling. In the hot weather of June, plastic drums or dark fabrics will absorb massive heat, pushing the soil temperature up over 95 degrees Fahrenheit, while potatoes will stop setting tubers if the soil exceeds 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Soil that is too hot means you are boiling alive the young underground stems. The Amish handled this by grabbing handfuls of dry straw, lining a layer about 10 inches thick tightly around the mesh wall, before pouring soil into the middle. When you water, the natural wind blowing through the wire mesh will cause the water to evaporate continuously, directly lowering the temperature inside the tower by 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit compared to the surrounding environment. Stratified fertilization. Strategy and tower building. A lot of people mix fertilizer evenly into the entire block of soil in the tower, and that is why they fail. Think about it logically. The main root system that absorbs nutrients for the plant is fixed only at the bottom 1 foot of the tower. The soil layers above have absolutely no main roots. That is only where the underground stems crawl out to produce tubers. Young tubers need a loose, airy, and cool space to swell up, not concentrated fertilizer. If you cram too much nitrogen fertilizer into the upper layers, the young tubers will be burned and charred. The plant will fall into an obese state, only worrying about feeding the giant green canopy at the top to detoxify the fertilizer, while underneath there are no tubers. The correct stratified formula must look like this. Bottom layer, the first 1 foot. Pour a mixture of 50% well-rotted compost and 50% garden soil. Place 4 to 5 seed pieces on top, eye buds facing straight up to the sky. Cover with a similar layer of fertilizer soil about 6 inches thick, and water lightly but thoroughly. The next layers, from 1 foot up to the top, only use loose soil mixed with rotted straw and a little potassium fertilizer. Absolutely do not add any nitrogen fertilizer. When the green shoots rise 8 to 10 inches high, you line the straw against the mesh wall and pour soil into the middle to bury the plant stem. But remember this rule well. Always leave a tuft of top leaves 3 to 4 inches long sticking out above the new soil level. Do not bury the whole plant alive. It must have green leaves exposed to the sunlight to keep running photosynthesis, absorbing light photons and sending energy back down to activate the eye buds along the stem to turn into tubers. Keep filling straw and soil as the plant grows tall, repeating every 2 to 3 weeks until the tower is full. Water management and lightning-fast harvest. Because the wire mesh tower vents air well, the water evaporation rate is 3 times faster than normal garden beds. How do you know if the plant is thirsty? Don't look at the surface. Apply the 3-finger rule. Thrust your fingers straight down into the tower soil about 3 knuckles, equivalent to 3 inches. If you feel the soil is dry, that is an emergency order. You must water thoroughly right from the top of the tower down until you see water trickling out under the bottom of the mesh. Erratic watering will cause the swelling tubers to suffer water pressure shock, splitting the skin and cracking immediately. You can water with diluted compost tea periodically every 3 to 4 weeks. But remember this critically important technical stopping point. As soon as you see the first potato flowers blooming at the top of the tower, put your shovel and fertilizer away immediately. The appearance of flowers is the ultimate biological signal telling you, I have stopped growing stem and leaf height. All energy from now on will be concentrated down below to swell the underground tubers. Adding more soil or adding more fertilizer at this time is completely pointless and has the opposite effect. About 4 to 6 weeks after the flowers fade, the stems and leaves will turn yellow and wither away completely. Do you feel impatient to dismantle the tower at this moment? Don't. Wait until the leaves are completely dry and withered. These final weeks are when the potato tubers perform the final starch accumulation, increasing weight to the maximum and automatically thickening the protective outer skin so you can store them for many months without worrying about shriveling or rotting. And here is the most satisfying moment of the whole process: harvesting without a shovel. Take a pair of pliers, snip the steel zip ties holding the mesh together, and open the wire mesh wide like you are opening a book. Because the tower structure is loose, the entire block of soil inside will automatically collapse gently. Not a single hoe, not a single shovel, completely eliminating the risk of accidentally slicing a potato tuber in half underground. The only thing you need to do is sit down, use your bare hands to pick up the clean, glossy clusters of potatoes exposed at every soil layer from top to bottom. Smart and effective gardening is when you master the rules of biology and mechanics, rather than blindly doing manual labor season after season. This afternoon, are you ready to put your traditional hoe away, stand up straight, and start building your very first potato tower? Wish you success, fellow partners, and don't forget to share the progress of your garden with me.